$500 to bring life into the world in Buenos Aires. $25,000 for the same miracle in New York City. The baby does not know the difference, but the receipt does. 3 cities, 3 receipts, 3 confessions about what a society believes life is worth. But that number lies. In the time it takes to read this receipt, an American mother's bill grows by $400. $12 for a Tylenol. $50 for a blanket. The price is not about the baby. Receipt investigator Rex reporting, tonight we deliver the truth about delivery and the cost of being born in the wrong zip code. Mount Sinai Hospital, Manhattan. The maternity ward hums with quiet efficiency. Before the first contraction, before the first push, before your baby takes their first breath, you already owe $25,000. Not for the delivery, for permission to deliver here. The itemized bill, 47 line items for a single birth. Tylenol costs $12 per pill. The same pill costs 30 cents at CVS across the street. But here is the line item that changes everything. Administrative overhead. 30% of your $25,000. $7,500 for paperwork. A billing specialist in the basement codes your delivery into 47 line items. She has never held a newborn. She earns more per hour than the nurse upstairs who just saved one. The delivery room. 12 hours of labor. The obstetrician appears for the final 20 minutes. $6,000. The anesthesiologist stays for 10. $2,000. The nurses who hold your hand for 12 hours split $800 between them. Expertise is expensive. Presence is not. Your insurance covers 80%. You pay $5,000 out of pocket. But your employer pays another $18,000 a year just to keep you insured. You never see that bill. Nobody does. Someone always pays the full price. You just never see the whole receipt. $25,000. More than a new car. More than a year of groceries. For something that takes 12 hours and has happened 10 billion times. So what happens when you fly south? $500 for the same delivery, the same epidural, the same healthy outcome. How does Argentina deliver the same baby for 98% less? The answer is not about medicine. It is about who signs the check and who never sees it. $500. That is what having a baby costs in a country where the currency collapses every decade. Not New York, not London, Buenos Aires, where economic chaos somehow makes world-class healthcare cheaper than an iPhone. Hospital Italiano, Palermo District. The marble lobby gleams under crystal chandeliers. German-made ultrasound machines, Swiss surgical equipment, American-trained doctors. This is not a budget clinic. This is where diplomats and CEOs have their babies. For $500. The obstetrician earned her degree at Harvard Medical School. 23 years of experience. She delivers your baby for what a Manhattan parking garage charges per month. Not because she is less skilled. Because the peso makes her brilliant and broke. The receipt breakdown. $225 goes to labor, the entire medical team for your delivery. In New York, that covers 30 minutes of an anesthesiologist. Here, it pays for the obstetrician, 2 nurses, and the pediatrician who examines your newborn. Your private room costs $15 a night. The nurse brings mate tea at 6 a.m. without being asked. She has worked here for 19 years. She could not afford this room in Manhattan. She built it. Every year, more American women fly to Buenos Aires to give birth. Round-trip flight, 5-star hotel, private hospital. Total cost, $3,000. Still 88% cheaper than staying home. The paradox is brutal. The same inflation that empties Argentine savings accounts fills their hospitals with foreign patients. One country's crisis is another country's bargain. But cross the Atlantic, $7,000 for a birth that costs nothing. Not New York math, not Buenos Aires math, London math, where free healthcare created a luxury market for people who want to pay anyway. $7,000 for a birth that costs nothing. Not New York, not Buenos Aires, London, where the government provides free childbirth to everyone, which is exactly why some people pay $7,000 to avoid it. The Portland Hospital, Fitzrovia, a project manager from Hackney, booked this room 7 months ago. She earns £85,000. The NHS would deliver her baby for free tomorrow. She is paying $7,000 for a doctor who remembers her name. That same doctor worked an NHS shift this morning. Same hands, same expertise, different door. The paradox. Britain built the world's most comprehensive free healthcare system, then created a luxury market for people who want to pay anyway. $7,000 buys you nothing medically that the NHS cannot provide. It buys you the right to skip the queue that does not exist. The breakdown. 35% goes to the obstetrician who earns more in one private delivery than a week of NHS work. 25% covers the Mayfair real estate. 25% is pure luxury premium, champagne, private chef, marble bathroom. The medical care, 10%. 3 countries solved the same problem 3 ways. One made birth a product, one made it a right. One made it a bargain by accident. The receipt does not judge. It only adds. The midwife next door delivered 3 babies today for the NHS. The private obstetrician delivered 1. She earned more. The midwife saved more lives. The receipt does not track that. The $7,000 birth is not about medicine. It is about what happens when a country provides something for free, then discovers people will pay anything to feel special while receiving the exact same thing. The receipt confesses what the system will not admit. Filing the report. New York confesses its paperwork addiction. $7,500 in bureaucracy before the baby arrives. Buenos Aires confesses its impossible exchange rate, brilliance priced in a currency that forgets its own value. London confesses its quiet hypocrisy, free health care that charges $7,000 for a nicer door. The receipt is a birth certificate for the country itself, revealing what kind of world the baby just entered. One case remains open. A $15 prescription in Mumbai. The same medication costs $300 in Boston. Same molecule, same healing, different confession about who the system was built to protect. There are still receipts to examine. Case closed.